Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook. There's a link in the description below. A lot of what we've been seeing and hearing, I want to say the last couple of weeks, has kind of been all over the place, I know. However, one thing that remains a constant, at least for right now, as it has been for the last few years, has been how bullish that analysts actually are. And I know that we talk about them a lot, but I think it really needs to be actually discussed, simply because the last couple of weeks have really reinforced in me, personally, that a lot of people in crypto are just here for the quick money. And I know some of you are saying, well, yeah, of course. But the problem is, it's similar to buying a home, like, a house, an apartment, whatever, for an investment. But then you sell it 3.5 months later because the valuation of the property went up by $8,000. There's no real long-term thinking in a lot of this. A lot of the analysts, if not all of them, at this point tend to talk in very long-term terms. That makes sense. And this is what I think annoys and bothers a lot of people. If you're looking on Twitter or wherever you might be looking for your cryptocurrency news, price prediction information, a very large portion of it tends to specifically be a buy and hold kind of strategy. There was something recently with Changpeng Zhao, the former CEO of Binance, who mentioned something along the lines of buy and hold. He said, if you're not capable of holding, you're going to end up poor. And a lot of people were like, what are you talking about, bro? And it's because big money always thinks long term. It's never prices went down by 4% today. The cryptocurrency market's garbage. I have to sell all of my money. You weather it out. It's the same exact thing with the stock market, as we've seen multiple other times. A lot of the analysts that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks have also kind of reinforced that everything that's going on and has been happening is excessively bullish for the space. The problem there ends up being for the wider cryptocurrency market, and I say wider as the people who are in it for the short term, who just got into it, who are back to make a lot of quick, fast money. They don't really care what's happening in the news. They want it to reflect in the prices so that they can make money and then cash out. The problem for them ends up being is that those coins that they cash out end up being accumulated by whales and by a lot of you. Their other problem ends up being is that in the future, as prices go up even higher over the course of a time period, similar to the stock market, it kind of keeps going up, especially mathematically because of scarcity. These people who left earlier rush back into the market. They buy at a higher price, expecting prices to go up a little bit higher. They make their $8,000, $10,000, $15,000. They leave the market once again. Those coins get scooped back up. And it's just the circle of crypto life. A company by the name, I'll call them Bernstein. We've talked about them before. Bernstein. I think it's probably Bernstein, but Bernstein sounds fancier. Basically announced a brand new report discussing what we've been going over, that the majority of people within the market don't understand the front end and back end implications of anyone, of any country, nonetheless the United States, announcing that they're not only looking to get into Bitcoin, but that they're into Bitcoin. If you saw before, this was 2 weeks ago, I don't remember, there was a bit of disappointment in the air by a lot of people within crypto that there was no announcement immediately from the White House that they would be buying 1 million Bitcoin in 3.5 hours, that kind of thing. If you remember before, in November and December of last year, we had a hefty amount of news from MAKEOVER, from Michael Saylor, and other eccentric people within the space who know other rich people, that they were privy to the idea and the news that apparently a lot of their friends who are the leaders of other countries heard that the United States was thinking of buying Bitcoin, and they began to buy Bitcoin before. This has led a lot of analysts to basically believe that any short-term movements down we might have are basically lightly forms of manipulation trying to get people out of the market. You have to understand how valuable Bitcoin is as a network worth $0. With a price of $0 for Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the first network that we've ever had that allows everyone on the planet to transact in any sort of way back and forth that isn't controlled by anyone. Email servers are controlled. The US dollar printing is controlled. You name it. Stable coins are controlled. Everything in our society, in our world, is constantly always in the clutches of usually one gigantic entity. So the idea of there being anything that we could use as a people, 8 billion of us, to not have to actually use fiat currency, to even Bitcoin, like the idea years ago for Bitcoin was also as like a messaging system, like being able to like write stuff on Satoshis or even on like the, on the blockchain directly is also very powerful because many places around the world, Google it and, learn history. There's no level of, anyway. So the idea is that at $0, Bitcoin is worth $1 million. The idea is that at $100,000, Bitcoin is still worth millions of dollars just because of what it's actually capable of. And then you get, as I've stated before, this word, this noise, you're hearing it, it happens, that multiple countries are going to be buying it. The only people who aren't paying attention, I don't know at this point. Who's not paying attention to all of this stuff that's happening? It's a large amount of people who are even into the cryptocurrency space. According to their report, they think that all of the things that we've been seeing from the SEC, I don't have a lot of it on this channel, but it's on my other channel, The Modern Investor, that we've been hearing of as of late. The SEC has been ending a lot of lawsuits against cryptocurrency companies that were enacted by Gary Gensler. They think that all of this stuff that we're seeing bodes, and I mean, this shouldn't even need, like there's no need to actually say this. It just makes logical sense. They think that this is going to bode excessively well for the cryptocurrency market. They think that what we've been witnessing, they think because of a lack of clarity for such a long time from the SEC, has kind of turned people to like move into meme coins. The idea of meme coins, if you weren't paying attention, was like quick, easy, fast money. Once again, that thing again, where tons of people kept on throwing their money into them. They were rug pulled, and then what have you, all that money was gone. They think actual regulation from the SEC and also just a government body in general will allow banks and institutions to like, hey, we can definitely get into the space. We know what's going on. They think that a lot of this money is going to move back into Bitcoin, into Ethereum as well, as it is the most used chain. And they think that DeFi and NFTs are also going to see a massive boost as well. NFTs are still pretty big. They're not as big, obviously, as they were before. But the NFT space is still, if you're in it, you're in it. You really, really love it. But a lot of their research revolved around the idea that like the regulatory restrictions that were kind of there before, or I mean, and from the vantage point of reality, like not being even told what was right and what was wrong within the cryptocurrency space. If you missed that news story, this happened a couple of months ago. I want to say 2 months ago. One of the former heads of the SEC, or someone who was working there last year, they were asked, why did you not? It is actually quite fascinating, and I understand why they did it. They were asked, why did you not give proper cryptocurrency regulation, for those of you who missed it? And the answer was, the space is too new. So if someone told you bananas, apples, oranges, and pears were not good for you, people would then go to mushrooms and they would go to other type of fungi, not understanding that because these got regulatory clarity, these didn't, that these also weren't bad for you in some sort of way, poisonous for you as well. So they said the spaces, they said that, wow, English. They said the space evolved so quickly. You couldn't tell someone, okay, ICOs are legal, Bitcoin, Ether, etc. are all legal, and these are not securities. And then someone goes, okay, well, we'll make an ICCO. will make an STO. Those are security token offerings. And everything was popping up so quick that they were like, we basically don't know what to do. And we couldn't tell people these coins are. So like, even from the vantage point of commodity security, the idea was by Bitcoin maximalists that things like securities were terrifying and scary, similar like to when they said XRP was a security, because it falls under the purview of the government. Sure, why not? But then the idea is if the SEC had come forward and said Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, are not securities, somebody would have found another coin that matched those same exact metrics, A, B, C, D, and said, okay, it doesn't do any of that. They would have launched their coin and then also rug pulled it. It didn't have to fall under the purview of the government. What are we, what's the problem? So yeah, we'll see exactly, really. We will see where all of this ends up going. It's very interesting to see, as I've said in many other videos, this level of adoption. It's kind of cool, but it's also a little bit scary because I don't know where things are going to go. We know that a lot of financial markets and more or less also crypto now are usually controlled by very wealthy, powerful entities. And this one is kind of becoming no different, even though Bitcoin was made for the public. But as we see it right now, we know that tons of money is flowing into this space. And the people still who aren't paying attention the most are a lot of people who are into crypto and people outside of it as well. So yeah, it's going to be very fascinating to see what ends up happening, especially as other countries begin to announce that they're also buying and have been buying. Don't forget the rumors. This was mid-February, maybe end of February. I don't remember. We had a rumor going, and I don't think it was a rumor, that apparently Abu Dhabi, I want to say Abu Dhabi, apparently I think had purchased around $500 million worth of Bitcoin. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was something monstrously gigantic. Yeah, a lot's always happening within this space every single day, multiple times. It's always a lot going on. Still very bullish, as I've always been. It's just a matter of time for me. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day. Hope you all are having a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.